Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. We are back, and it feels so good. I was just telling Matthew right here, we'll get his camera on in just a second, but I was just telling him it's been a minute since we've done this, and we'll explain more about why that is in just a few minutes. But, man, I'm pumped. I felt like, when you go to bed Christmas Eve and you're like, I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. I can't get my mind off all the presents and stuff waiting for me downstairs tomorrow morning. And then somehow you're able to still fall asleep and you wake up and the sun is out and you're like, oh my gosh, I did it. I made it through Christmas Eve. Christmas is here and I'm ready to party. That is how I feel right now. I am ready to party. Christmas is here. If you don't celebrate Christmas, it's the first day of the 8 days of Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, happy winter solstice, whatever it is, whatever it gets this analogy across for you. I'm just glad to be back on another rendition of the Anthony Around Town Show, the best darn talk show in Elko, Nevada. Just in case you are new, I know we've had a lot of new people joining us over the last few weeks. This is just the live stream show where Matthew and I hop on and we just join you in our community to talk about some awesome things happening within our community, whether that be a person, an event, something that is just heavy on our hearts, all that sort of good stuff. We are here to chat about it with you, and we'll break it all down in just a second. But before we do, we got to give some love to some awesome businesses that have helped make this show possible really all throughout this year. We're about halfway through the year now. I know that sounds crazy because of all the stuff we've gone through this year already. It feels like it's been 5 years in the span of 6 months, but we're halfway through, and we're chugging along here at AAT, and we wouldn't be able to even get to where we are without these awesome businesses that you see. Dang it, I always point the wrong way. That you see right here. The first one is NV Off-Road, located at 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. That's 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. Justin and the boys down here are all about making sure that your power sports vehicle is up to standard, is up to par. It's doing all the things it needs to do to hit the dunes, to hit the slopes, to hit the mountains, wherever, all terrain. I don't know. Maybe you have a jet ski. I don't know if he does jet skis. I haven't seen a jet ski here yet, but that would be awesome because I love jet skis. But I'm sure he'd figure it out. But whatever your toy is sitting in the garage that you wish, especially right now with the weather being as nice as it is, you were able to take it out and enjoy it with the family. But, maybe something's wrong. Maybe you just got to tinker with this and you haven't figured out that. Man, instead of doing that, just give Justin a call at 299-5546. That's 299-5546. He and the boys down here will make sure that you are taken care of the right way. So, again, you have a power sports vehicle toy and you want to get out and enjoy it this summer, then just come see our friends over at NV Off-Road. Second business we're going to get some love to is Denise Bradshaw over at Bradshaw Law, LLC. I'm a clumsy person. Sometimes I trip just walking to the bathroom, which is literally like 3 feet from my room. Sometimes the worst, okay, just a little personal story. So I'm telling you this because if you see it happen, just pretend like you didn't see it just for the sake of my ego, okay? So I like to go on walks around my neighborhood because I love my neighborhood and I love going out, getting some fresh air, clearing my mind, walking around the northern part of Elko. And sometimes when I'm just walking, something I've been doing for the past probably 28 years, a car will drive by and I'll get really in my head and I'll be like, they're probably looking at me as I'm walking, they're driving. I hope I'm doing this walking thing right. I hope I'm not doing weird. I hope, right foot, left foot. How does it supposed to go? And then the next thing I know, I literally trip over my own 2 feet for no reason whatsoever. And they probably drive by and they probably laugh. They probably got it on their phones. They probably Snapchatted it and was like, look at this loser, can't even walk. I'm just a clumsy dude. And so I am keeping in mind Denise Bradshaw over at Bradshaw Law LLC almost every day because I don't know when I'm going to get hurt. I don't know when I'm going to have a bad personal injury. Then I'm just going to need some legal representation to take care of me. It could be on a walk. It could be walking to the bathroom. Who knows when it's going to happen. So just in case, I always remember that Denise is on my side. 775-738-7444. That's 775-738-7444. 844. Denise Bradshaw over at Bradshaw Law is probably, knowing me, somebody I'm going to have to really use more than just a sponsor in the near future. So I wanted to give her your information as well. All right, let's switch over cameras and officially welcome cameraman Matthew Rom right here. Before we really get into everything we're going to talk about, Matthew, the last stream I did, which was a few weeks ago, I'm pretty sure I did that one by myself. I don't remember what I talked about. I know a lot of people watched it, so hopefully I did a good job. But you weren't here. And the week before that, though, was when we ate those super hot peppers.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? And we both died, basically. So you did the pepper thing. You took a week off, and then we just weren't doing a whole lot for the next few weeks. So I need you just to update us on what's been going on in your life, my man. What have you been? How's things? How's Elizabeth, your beautiful girlfriend? How are all your cats? Give us the full breakdown of the Matthew Rom story right now.
Well, it all started when I was 5.
Not that far back.
Oh, okay.
We got to keep the show tight.
My bad. No, it's been fun. It's been good. Some of you guys probably have heard or already known. I got a new job. I work for PepsiCo now, so I am no longer Mr. T Shizzle.
No more T-Mobile.
What Elizabeth dad calls me, T Shizzle. I am now T Fizzle because it's soda pop.
Oh, I was like Fizzle.
Fizzes.
Okay.
So,
you gonna be T Pizzle?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But it's been fun. It's been working hard instead of hardly working, right? I've been learning a lot of new things, and it's definitely been a change. I went from kind of knowing everything about my job and being able to do it well, almost kind of even doing it in my sleep, to having to learn everything and like trying to take all this information in. And so I think that's probably what's been hardest.
Okay.
That, or it's like top 3 of the hardest things is just like getting back to a point of, oh, I can do this. This is easy. And so, but it's been fun. It's provided us with a lot of new opportunities. Me and Elizabeth got to go to Boise.
Ooh, fancy.
Not last week, but the week before. Super, super fun. I was actually going to tell you.
I'm nervous.
While we were up in Boise, I went to a longboarding shop and got new wheels and new bearings and everything for my longboard, and it feels so good.
Yes, Matthew and I are big longboarders. Me and he's not so much anymore because I have kids and they get terrified. Again, the whole clumsy thing. They get terrified every time I even get near my board, but I still love it. Oh man, I rolled down one of the hills over on Juniper Street one day. I thought it was so cool. I saw this big old hill. I was with one of my kids, and I'm like, I'm going to impress them and show them how awesome Dad is by cruising down this hill and then turning around and going like, yeah, what's up? You know it. Or like one of these. Nope. 2 feet into the ride, I got the speed wobbles, and I jumped off, and I was running to catch up to my board, tripped, rolled down the hill, blood everywhere. It was a total wreck. Emily Covert says maybe that's because they seen you almost die. Yeah, again, my kids don't like it. Emily's their mom, knows the story. She was there. She didn't try to help me up, by the way, even though she watched me fall. I'm pretty sure she just started laughing. And she knows what she did. She just started laughing, and I was there, bloody, a mess on the ground, and my kids wouldn't let me ride anymore.
Scars, stabs, like the damage from
I'm pretty sure I stabbed on many. So anyways, you went longboarding, so you've been, had a good trip, Boise with your girlfriend. Fun. That's pretty cool.
And TLDR, since you were sharing clumsy stories.
You have one?
Yes.
Okay, well.
I was riding my longboard down Mountain City Highway one time, and I'd just gotten done. So this was back when I worked for Costa Vida.
Oh, yeah,
as a cashier, and I saw this group of people come in, they got their food, they ate, and then I'd gotten off, and shortly thereafter, they had left the building. to like go home, right?
Yeah.
So either way, I'm cruising down Mountain City Highway. I'm about to get to that four-way, Idaho Street, that light, and I see these people drive up. I was like, oh, hey, I recognize them from Costa Vida. That's coincidental. I have my Costa Vida shirt on, right? So I like wave to them, but I obviously take my eyes off where I'm longboarding. There's this big pothole
Uh-oh.
right before, like right in front of the fire station, and it's towards like the edge of the sidewalk. And I ran over the pothole. I biffed it. I laid there for like a second in my shame because I was like, these guys, they know where I work. They're laughing their butts off, and I'm like, oh.
Classic. You guys saw Emily's comment. She said, I was actually mad I stopped recording right before he rolled. And actually, I kind of am too, because you could sell Biff videos like that on the internet and either make money or become a viral star. So,
remember MTV's
Scarred. There's all, now it's just, that probably, if it was now, it'd be like on TikTok, and I'd be like rolling down the hill to some white teenage girls dancing in the background or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how TikTok works. Ooh. But, so yeah, you've been doing good. I hope you all have been doing well. Again, we haven't seen you guys in a little while. Again, feel free. Emily was just doing it, but use the live chat tonight if you would like. Normally what happens on these shows is we talk about just some content that came out recently from Anthony Around Town and go into depth with it and maybe break it down a little bit more on the way. But tonight's going to be a little bit different because tonight we are going to kind of talk about the last couple of weeks as far as like us go and our work, and talk about what's coming up in the future of AAT, because we got some big things coming. So feel free to use the live chat. I'll just bring it up. Emily says we can do a replay. Hey, if you guys watch it and it'll get views, I'm always down. I'll literally, we ate hot peppers in front of a live audience. We'll do anything for good views. What's Austin? Whitney says, start wearing a GoPro when you ride. Okay, so that, again, maybe this is a new video we're supposed to be doing, a Biff video. And Austin, get me one for Father's Day. So there you go. If Austin gets me a GoPro for Father's Day, then I'll wear it and I'll roll down the hill and I'll get it on video, and you guys can watch it. And Emily, I guess, gets to record it. So there you go.
Now you have it on a video.
Yeah, there you go. So Anthony falls down the most dangerous hills in Elko. I guess that's kind of on brand, is how we would brand it. But all right, so what's been going on the last couple weeks? So this all started a couple weeks ago. We rewind the clock a little bit. Let's go back to, I don't know, like the week or so before Memorial Day. I'm in this very studio right now, provided by NV Off-Road, 1430 Stitzel Road, Suite A. And I'm getting my computer set up, getting ready actually to record an episode of the Anthony Around Town podcast, available where all your normal podcasts are, by the way. Literally 15 minutes from my guest walking in. I was all set. I didn't even think I had much going on after that, after the podcast. So I'm like, I'm going to do this podcast. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to go grocery shopping. Then I'm going to go home, and I'm actually just going to chill the rest of the day. I'm printing out my podcast notes. And I notice I don't have any paper. So I get up to go get some paper. I trip over a cord, and my laptop falls from this very table. And you guys can see it's not that high. It just falls from the table to the floor. And it's, honestly, again, I'm clumsy. This might be the theme of this whole night. But I've done that before. I'm like, whatever, turn around, pick it up, let's go. I got my guest coming in a few minutes. Nope. I bent down to pick up my laptop, and there is a crack in the side of it. And it's not like a big shattered. It's not shattered like anything. It just has, a little tree branch crack in the side of it. So I'm like, uh-oh. And so I try messing with it. Nothing. Try this, try that. Nothing. Literally, I think my guest even pulled up into the parking lot, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have a backup computer with me. We're not doing this podcast right now. Sorry, TBD. And they were super understanding. It was super cool, but I was, kind of taken back because that wasn't the plan. The plan wasn't for me to break my computer. My plan was to do a podcast, go home, and chill. So that kind of set me back. I'm not going to lie, because for me, my personality, what you should know is I'm very plan focused, if that makes sense. So where like if I get something in my head like, okay, this needs to be like this for the day, A, B, C, D, then it really throws me off if A becomes C and D becomes A and whatever. Like I like my plan, I like my structure, everything kind of falls into the right place. So when something random comes and throws that whole thing off, it just sends me into a spiral. Matthew can attest to that last week when we were trying to do the stream, and I couldn't get a cord to work, and it was not a good hour and a half. And so anyways, but you know what I decided to do when that computer cracked and I realized I'd be without a computer for a little bit, was that I honestly decided to take a step back and just kind of evaluate things, because you guys know how there's always stuff we want to do. There's always things on our list, and there's always dreams on our vision board that we're like, okay, I'm going to get to that one day, and I'm going to take this next step this day, whatever. But it seems like we never really get there because the days ahead of us are filled with this and that, and got to get this done and got to get that done. And so that few days of I'll get to that event, in a few days becomes, okay, maybe I'll get to that next week. And then that next week becomes, okay, I guess I got to get to that next month, and so on and so on. And for me and for this whole Anthony Around Town thing, there's things that I've always wanted to do with it, and things that I knew I could take it, and directions and plans and ambitions with it. But it was just, okay, like, things are going good now. We got, a nice steady flow. People are digging it. People are watching the stuff, reading the articles. Sponsors are happy, all that sort of stuff. So I'll, eventually, maybe later, I'll start taking stuff to the next step. But, things are rocking and rolling. This week, I got to edit a podcast, and I got to write this blog, and I got to interview this person, and I got this meeting, and I got to get this video shot. And it's just always one of those things. So when my computer broke and I was forced to really be without real work for a little bit. Like I still had stuff I could do for the business, but as far as like getting content edited and produced and out to you guys, I was out for a little bit. I had to sit on, a video project and sit on a blog for a while, and I wasn't able to do the podcast. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a sign. Maybe this is a sign where I don't have any excuse. I don't have really anything mucking up my calendar now for at least a week or so, because I had to wait for a part to come in for my computer and looking at some other stuff. And you guys know, like, Amazon right now is super backed up because of everything going on. So I had some time. It wasn't like so I was like, I'm going to use this opportunity, turn it into a positive, and start making some big steps and some things that I've wanted to do with this whole concept really for a long time. Matthew knows he's been with me since the beginning, when even this whole Anthony Around Town thing was just an idea I had a few years ago. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to start rocking and I'm going to start rolling with it. And so what I ended up doing was getting all my ducks in a row. And ultimately, what I decided to do, when I'm excited to announce to you guys tonight, because everything's technically filed and pretty much legal now, is that I am starting my very own digital media company. Now, you might be like, okay, Anthony, I thought that's what you already were doing. Thank you. I'll hold for the applause. Thank you. Okay, a little more. Okay, that's good. You might like, Anthony, I thought you already had a digital media company. Isn't that what Anthony Around Town is? Yes and no. I define Anthony Around Town as more of like a brand, if you will. Because how it's been functioning, if you want to get technical, Anthony Around Town has been functioning as a sole proprietor business for the last few years, which means it's basically just me independently going out and handling my business. What I've decided to do was take this thing to the next level and start an actual media company that Anthony Around Town, the brand, is now going to sit under. Does that make sense? So my company is called Veritas Media. So Veritas Media, it means truth, and I'll explain more of that in a little bit. But Veritas Media is the company, and Veritas Media now owns the brand Anthony Around Town. And so ultimately, why this is cool and why this is a big step is because over the last few years, I've just been able to really get my voice out there in the community through my content and through the videos, through the blogs, and sharing a lot of your voices through the videos and the blogs and stuff like that. But it's always been, Anthony Around Town, the brand, like this logo, content from culture, all of that. But now that we have a full-fledged company that's going to produce and publish media independently in the community, that means I'm able to bring on content creators besides myself and start getting their voices out into the community, and heck, maybe even eventually Northern Nevada, besides my own. So I know that my voice is not the only one that maybe people need to see and recognize. I know my brand is not the only one that could do well and be successful here. I'm not even the only personality in town who can handle communicating to a camera and carrying a show and building an audience and all that sort of good stuff. There's people out there in our community who have that ability, who have that talent, and maybe even have those means, but have never really thought about doing it, quote unquote, professionally before, like I've been trying to do over the last few years. And so this company is going to give maybe you, we'll talk about that in a second, an opportunity to enter into the independent digital media space. So basically, to kind of break it down, if Matthew, let's say, he's a Pepsi guy now, so he's a Pepsi. I mean, legally, he might not be able to do this because Pepsi's its own trademark, but whatever. Legals and stuff. But let's just say, hypothetically, Matthew's like, you know what? I've always wanted to start a podcast about the different places in Elko where the Pepsi soda is distributed and tastes the best, and bottled Pepsi versus fountain Pepsi and all that, like the Matthew Rom Pepsi podcast. What would happen is he would, build that concept. Maybe we'd sit down and be like, okay, Matthew, you are the personality. You have this podcast show, but Veritas Media wants to own the rights to your podcast, so we're going to help produce it, and we're going to help get it out there, and we're going to do some other stuff. I don't want to give away my whole business plan in front of everybody right now, but there's stuff that we're going to do to really blow up your podcast locally, and so come on under the Veritas Media umbrella and be a part of this whole thing, and then we would help get Matthew's local Pepsi podcast out and about through the community. So then now Veritas Media would own Anthony Around Town and Matthew's Pepsi podcast, and then all the other content that we produce, whether it be streams, blogs, video creators, podcasts, all that sort of good stuff. We're just going to go out and do it. And before I let you kind of share your thoughts on this, Matthew, ultimately, why I'm so excited about this is because I'm just, especially this year has really opened my eyes to the importance of it. But there's just so much value in the voice of the people. And again, I think I realized a lot this year where, media and information and the way that information is distributed and the way that information is taken in by people and the way that information is spread. It's a powerful thing, but it also can be a tricky thing because ultimately, when it comes to media, it's ultimately a business. And so there's so much that goes into the media that we consume. Newspapers are owned by corporations, and people put out information for certain agendas and say certain things to get certain clicks because it all equals dollars. And I just realized that for our community, we have an opportunity to really let the people have a real voice independently. So like my business might own a certain show or own a certain brand, but it's owned by a guy here and a couple guys. I have a silent partner who's going in with this with me. If he's watching and if he wants to out himself, he can. But so me and my partner, we're the local guys. We love the community. We believe in the community. We believe in our neighbors, and we believe in building up this community to be the best that it can continue to be. And we're going to help people do that. And we're going to keep it honest, and we're going to keep it truthful, hence the name Veritas is kind of the foundation of that. And it's all going to be about giving the voice to the local people and building content and other stuff based on that. Because I just think that it's important. We as neighbors need to make sure that we're heard and understood, and see the value of the things it says. Okay, so I'll put up. I knew he was going to say something. This is Austin Whitney, guys. He says, "Hi, guys. This is Austin. He is the guy who's going to be going in this with me. He's my silent partner, and yeah, hopefully we're going to do really, really well with this." But Matthew, you've heard me talk about this for a long time. You've heard my vision. You've heard my doubts, my fears, my insecurities with all this. You've heard my excitement for all of this. You've heard it all. You've heard it all. So what are your thoughts right now as I kind of share this with the people? What do you think, my man?
Honestly, in general, like just growing up as a young adult has been really fun and exciting. There's roller coasters that Anthony Around Town has had, but I'm glad that I've gotten to see what 22-year-old Matthew, just talking in the back of the van, and you guys might already know that story.
Yep, that's where it all started. At the back of my minivan, I was like, dude, I got an idea. What if I started a blog? And what if I interviewed people around town? Around town. That was a ring. No, that's how it pretty much started.
Yeah, and it's been fun. I feel like this was one of those life experiences where it's like growing up from now, it's like, I'm glad that I've had this experience. Just seeing Anthony Around Town, seeing a dream come true from, my best friend, something, it came to fruition, it came to become a reality. And so it's been super fun and exciting to see that. And so just kind of like what your mom Denise said, I'll second that. I'll echo her. Is congratulations on that. It's been a fun ride, and so now that we get to see this grow even more, it's like let's go for it, let's do it. And then a second point that I wanted to bring up was when we had done that video for in front of the sheriff.
The police station video. Yeah. By the way, thank you all for watching and supporting that. I know a lot of you are new to the Anthony Around Town page because of that video. I think 100 people came and followed the page just after that video was out. And that's a powerful video. But I'll let you share the story.
So Anthony hits me up. He's like, "Hey man, I want to do this video. What are you doing?" I'm like, "Not much. Let's do it. Let's go for it." And he breaks down this idea of going to the sheriff's office, me doing my cameraman Matthew stuff, and just doing a video about Black Lives Matters, the whole movements, and just everything that had gone on with not George Floyd in particular, but everything that sparked from that. And so we got to film that. He brought up some amazing points and stuff. If you haven't already seen it, definitely go watch it. But after that, we were talking and we were going over a lot of stuff. And one of the things that we were going over is just the fact that, like you've already said too, is that media nowadays is just not what it should be. It's there's a lot of misinformation going around, a lot of people pushing their agendas with certain things, and the fact that this is an opportunity where we get to do, we get to push this vision that we have of spreading correct information, because that does matter, that we get to spread that, whether it's meeting the people of Elko or hearing what the best Pepsi product is because we did interviews or something, no matter what category it is, we have, we got to push that, and that people get to be heard, not, being edited and changed up to push an agenda, but, that's phenomenal, it's something where it's like, this all stemmed from one person, and we get to try our hand at doing this idea correctly of spreading information. Um, so I think that's phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
It's been fun. Like I said, even though there's been the roller coaster over the past few years, there's ups and downs, and life happens, and all of that stuff. It's been good.
Thanks.
It's been fun.
I gotta say thank you also to Stephanie. She says congratulations. Thank you so much, Stephanie. And then Cassandra says thankful we have someone who cares so much about our community and ensuring we have accurate information. Yeah, I mean,
For reals.
and I've always said, like, I don't want Anthony Around Town or even now Veritas Media to be like a news thing because I'm not really interested in that. There's other good outlets and people you can get that stuff from. For me, it's just always been voices, experiences, and stories because I believe you can learn so much about a person, obviously, but about a community and about a group of people just by listening to individual people's stories. And I think it's powerful and it can change lives. And I've just been doing it in a very small way, kind of just on my own, obviously with help from Matthew and Nay, our editor, and some other people. But there's so many there's a lot of stories in our community. Our community's growing, our community's developing, and there's never going to be a shortage of stories from our neighbors that we can share with one another and grow with each other and understand with each other and relate with one another. Because again, it's just so easy to get information and quickly divide, and I'm in this camp and I'm over here and I believe this and you believe that, so we're at war, blah blah blah, fight, nag, when really if we actually just took the time to understand each other and to know each other and know this person is saying this because this person has this background, this reason why this person is so fearful about a lot of stuff going on in the country when it comes to like police officers and stuff is because their family member is a officer or they're married to one, and so this like gets them personally. They're not just trying to start a war, and maybe this person over here has this opinion because they've dealt with something in their past or they've had an experience that's really shook and wrecked them. Like again, on the surface you wouldn't know that, so you just see bicker, but when you take the time to actually listen to somebody, that's where that empathy comes in, and that's where that hope and unity as a town comes in. Because I've always told people, like, I don't care how big we get as a town. Let businesses come in, let us grow culturally, all that good stuff. But I just hope that no matter how big we get, we never lose that sense of neighborly compassion and understanding that we have for each other, and never lose the ability to like wave to somebody who's walking down the road, and never lose the ability to walk out of Cowboy Joe's, see somebody and stand out there talking. And I think it's Cassandra. Nate Austin says Veritas will be in a league of its own. Yeah, again, I hope so. It's not going to be like a news thing. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be that. It's just going to be a media business for the people to share their voices. I guess that's it. So what does that mean? So what exactly does that mean going forward? Well, for me, it means a lot of work. Like this upcoming week, I got a lot of paperwork to do. I got a lot of the boring stuff when you start a company that you have to do that I'm not excited to do, but I know I have to do it. So I'll be working on that a lot. But it just means practically, here's what Anthony Around Town our followers need to know going forward, really over the summer. So we're talking over the summer, the next few months, as we continue to build Veritas and to get stuff established and all that. It's just going to mean, as far as content-wise, we're still going to be putting out the blogs. So we still have the Wednesday blog, the Friday blog, and unless like something weird happens, like maybe somebody cancels or my kids go crazy or whatever, we're still going to have those come out. Because we still have, awesome stories we want to continue to share. Don't want to, stop doing that. That's a lot of fun, and that's important. And we still have awesome sponsors we keep working with. We still got, Envy Off-Road. We still got Bradshaw Law, our Friday blog. We got B3 Glass. Them over there are fantastic. And actually, tomorrow, we're actually bringing in a new sponsor of the Friday blog that's going to work with B3 Glass. But I'll announce that later after I have my meeting tomorrow. But so exciting stuff coming with the blogs. We'll still be doing that. But some of the other stuff, like this live stream show, the podcast, some of the YouTube, Facebook videos that we do, all the other things that take a lot more work. You're probably going to notice those come to almost a crawl. I'll just say a crawl. I'm not going to say they're going to stop completely, because you never know. Somebody might be like, dude, you need to make a video of this. This is awesome. And us be like, yeah, let's go make a video of that. Or maybe because we're like, you know what? I want to hang out tonight. It's Monday night. Let's go set up the camera. Let's just do a live stream. You never know. Right. Maybe, same thing with the podcast. So like all that stuff, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm just going to say like there's a lot of work to be done over the next few months to get everything I want to happen and be ready for the fall to happen. And so I just, that's why we're just, again, it's all about the voices. I'm just putting it out to you guys. I know you guys love and support this. So I just know you guys will just have our back and support this, hopefully, and have patience as we're building it, because like I told Matthew, like just straight up, like I'm excited for this, but I'm nervous because starting a big venture like this, something that's never really been done in this community to this capacity, is ambitious. And I hope I'm doing the right thing, and I hope I'm surrounding myself with the right people and making the right decisions. Because ultimately I hope that this is a blessing for, again, not even maybe Elko, but Northern Nevada. But yeah, it's just going to be a long roller coaster of a summer. So yeah, still gonna have the blogs come out. So we actually have a new one coming out this Wednesday, so no fret. And we have one coming out Friday. That's confirmed. And yeah, some of the other stuff, it'll just check out AnthonyAroundTown.com. Keep locked into the Facebook and our email list. If you really want to make sure you don't miss out, just subscribe to our email list, and that's just every single Monday I send out one email to all of our email subscribers. There's a lot of them, but I'm thankful for that, because that's pretty cool. But they just get an email with all the links to the content that came out the week prior. So if you're like, I don't want to keep checking the Facebook and seeing what's going on, then just sign that up. Just need your name, just need your email, and then you will just get that every single week, and you can check out whatever it is you feel like you need to check out. But what I will say is this. Again, we're gonna rock and roll and bring in some other talent and personalities and create some other brands that Veritas is going to produce content-wise. So I'll just say this. If you've ever thought about starting a blog, about starting a podcast, about starting a video, or whatever, if you ever had a good idea that you think people, especially people locally, would watch or listen to, now is maybe the time. Because if you get that rolling, or if you get a hold of me, AnthonyAroundTown@gmail.com, and maybe we could talk, then maybe you could be a part of the soon-to-be Veritas family. Actually, on my own, reached out to somebody who I just believe has the personality and the camera skills and the ability to maybe do a show or something in the future. So we're talking about what developing that piece of content would be like. And so over the summer, we're going to develop it and maybe test it on a few people and get it right for the fall, and then we'll launch it in the fall. I know some people in town already have media content that they're already producing, whether it be their own blog, or I know some people locally have their own podcast. So, think about it. Think about, okay, maybe we should partner up with Anthony and really blow this thing up. Because again, I didn't give away my whole recipe live tonight. I got some other big parts of this big business venture that I think is going to be pretty sweet. But yeah, just think about it. If you ever thought about getting into digital media and becoming a content personality, let me know. But you can't steal Matthew's Pepsi idea, because as soon as we work with the lawyers, we're producing that Pepsi show at SV. I just want 30 minutes of you tasting different Pepsis around town, and on a scale of flat to bubbly, rating them.
Honestly, I feel I could do like a series over the flavors of the different products that Pepsi has. There is a lot.
So Pepsi, they own, obviously, Pepsi. Sierra Mist is Pepsi. What's the Dr. Pepper equivalent to Pepsi?
Mountain Dew is a big thing.
Mountain Dew. Okay, who else?
Did
they own like Barg's root beer?
Nope, we do Mug root beer.
Mug root beer. Okay, what? Give me one more.
Gatorade.
Give me a soda.
Pepsi.
Give me a soda.
Soda?
Yeah.
Crush.
Orange Crush?
Or,
Let's say
grape,
orange. Let's say orange. Orange is the most
watermelon.
popular. Okay, right now, for old time's sake, we're doing ranking, the Matthew ranking. So we got Pepsi, Sierra Mist, Mug Root Beer, Orange Crush, Mountain Dew. Rank them in order of best to worst right now. Fifth being worst. So we'll start with number 5. Number 5, worst. The most trash soda out of on that list is what?
I don't want to say it was trash. Come on, it's my job.
Okay. The one that the one that you'll get to eventually. Yeah, the one that, whatever.
Probably gonna be Orange Crush.
So you're not. Oh, really? Why?
I like flavors, but root beer is a staple in soda.
So you put root beer high. So what's
put it higher than Crush?
So
and
Crush is
Sierra
5.
Mist.
Sierra Mist.
Whenever you have, an upset stomach, you need something like
True.
a Sierra Mist, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything other than Sierra Mist because Sierra Mist is where it's at.
Not the other clear soda. We don't talk about that.
The one that shouldn't be named.
Yes. By the way, this whole segment is not sponsored by Pepsi. So hashtag
Hopefully
not
I
a
don't get in
sponsor.
trouble.
Or if you want to sponsor, just hit me up, anthonyaroundtown@gmail.com.
I'll reach out to.
Oh, there you go. That's how this business works. Okay, so we got
so
Crush.
at 5, still good, but probably the least of them.
Okay, what's number 4?
I think I'd do Mug at that point.
Okay, what's number 3? You
I
got
don't know.
Sierra Mist.
It's 3 and 4 is Sierra Mist and Mug Root Beer. I would say they're tied for 3 though.
Okay.
Because you can do stuff like
Root beer floats.
root beer floats and
Sure.
stuff.
Okay,
But
fair.
once again, Sierra Mist, if you're having an upset stomach, helps you out.
Okay.
And then Schweppes ginger ale, stuff like that. It helps your stomach.
Okay.
Number 2, I would say Pepsi, and number 1, I would say
Mountain Dew.
Because
Nice.
it's the gamer feel.
Yes, gamer.
Mountain Dew is a
Okay.
staple for
I
those
think if
who
I
like
had
games.
to rank it, I would go Pepsi first because I'm a big rum and Coke guy. It's my favorite adult beverage ever. So I need
You just
I need
named
something.
that shouldn't have been named.
Well, no, not that brand, but like Coke is in like the flavor of soda. A cola, I guess cola.
This
Rum and
is
cola.
a Pepsi business. No,
So
I'm just kidding.
rum and Pepsi. Okay, rum and Pepsi. So Pepsi won for that. What's the other option? Sierra. I think I'd go Sierra Mist because I love me some when you're like super hot
really
and you
crisp.
just get a ice, not a off the shelf sitting there for days warm one, but like the coldest of
We don't do
cold. Ice cold Sierra Mist when you're just dying of thirst. There's nothing like it. Like bubbles and gets crispy. You know that feeling?
The
Crispy. So that I can't beat that. What was the other choices? Orange. Nah.
and root beer.
There's just so much sugar in all those. But I'll say Mountain Dew because it's Mountain Dew, and for almost the same reason as Sprite. Like I love a ice cold Mountain Dew when I'm super thirsty. Then I'm going orange soda. In moderation, I can't drink too much because I get sick. There's sugar gets me like that. And then root beer. I'm not a big root beer guy unless it's for a special reason, like I'm having a root beer float or for that reason. So I'll put that last because I don't really do that too often. But what's your ranking? How would you rank that? Let us know. Next time, I was going to say next week, but not next week because I have a meeting next week. So we will not have a live stream next week. But, just stay locked in. Matthew and I, like I said, we might just be like, hey, let's do a stream tonight. Let's update the people on what's going on. I think I'll be vlogging throughout the summer, keeping you guys definitely updated on all things Veritas Media and the progress on that. But of course, like I said, Anthony Around Town content still coming out, so have no fret. And we're just going to do this, man. We're going to do this. So thank you so much for tuning in to this rendition of the Anthony Around Town show. We're very just thankful. Honestly, seriously, I just want to be sincere, not have my show voice on. But honestly, thank you, community of Elko, Spring Creek, surrounding areas, because if it wasn't for you believing in this guy's minivan dream that I've had a few years ago, I wouldn't even be to the point where I am now where I can start a company around this whole thing. And I just can't thank you enough for all the support, all the love, all the positive messages, all the encouragement. Somebody asked me like, "Hey Anthony, have you ever like gotten like anything like negative said about like what you do?" And maybe there's a side that said maybe I should for whatever, but like it's all just been encouragement. It's all just been love. Just having a random guy show up and start doing something in this town, and you guys support it this much. It's just it's awesome. So thank you so much. And I just want to make you guys a promise that to the best of my ability, I'm just going to continue working hard and using this to ultimately serve Elko. And yeah, it's going to be a business. So there's the elements to that. But ultimately, I want this to belong to the people of this community. So we're going to just use it to serve Elko and to continue to bring positivity and to Elko and different perspectives to Elko, so we can just grow together as neighbors. So that's the goal. Want to give some love to our awesome not sponsor editor. Awesome editor, Nay Merrill over at thatgrammargal.com. She is the one who makes sure all of my blogs and all of our writing, and maybe even future bloggers of Veritas Media's writing is this up to par, up to snuff. There's eyes where there's supposed to be eyes. There's periods where there's supposed to be periods. There's italics. What's an italics? So the things that are italicized are italicized. What's that?
It's like the cursive. It's like italicized is when it's like...
It's like fancy, right? Okay. So she makes sure everything is up to snuff. So if you have a writing yourself, maybe you're writing a book, maybe you just have an important work document you want to make sure is clean and crisp before you send it to your boss. Yep. Whatever it is, just hit up thatgrammargal.com and Nay will take care of you. Just let her know your friends over at now Veritas Media LLC sent you. So that sounded good. Matthew, anything you want to say before we get out of here, my dude?
So, give you a proposition.
Uh-oh.
Every time you say Veritas, I run up and I go, but it's $5 for every time you do.
$5? I have to pay you $5 for that? I got my kids do that for a candy bar. All right, I'll think about it.
A candy bar is
I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Anyway. I'll think about it. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this rendition of the Anthony. I don't know what that was. The Anthony Around Town show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you over the summer. But until next time.
Catch you later.
See you around, Elko.